Well, howdy there, folks. What have we got for you today? Now, this is going to be a little bit different. You don't see too many people in the States reviewing this particular figure. No siree, Bob, I know, because I looked and I researched. And sure enough, I think maybe there was like 1 or 2, maybe even 3 people reviewing this that even spoke English. So, with that said, what could it be? Well, you already know because you saw the title before you even clicked on this video. So let's get to it. I just wanted to show you how it came in the package because, I mean, it's wrapped in paper. All right, and here it is out of the paper. This is Snail Shell's Boba Milk Tea Girl. And then all of its ridiculousness. So I'm going to take a quick peek because this isn't G.I.Joe classified, so this is not something you're going to see every day. So I'll show you everything. And so here you have top of the box, get a nice picture of her. And oh look, more pictures of her. And hey, just for giggles, more pictures of her. And in case that wasn't enough, how about yet another picture of her? This time it's more art than photo. And gee, I wonder what they're going to focus on this figure. Now the back is just, you know, your average, this is what you get, and a bunch of legalese-ish that you're not going to get. But yeah, the Japanese are very big about packing as much information as they can and all available real estate on their boxes, figures, what have you. But yeah, let's dig in because there be kind of a bit to dig into. Righto, so get out my old cowboy knife. Hi. Get to the bit of the slicey wicey. All right. Okay, what you're greeted with is okay. Beautiful box goes out of the way, and you get this kind of dual packaging situation. You get looks what appears to be an additional box. Looks like it has perforations here in case you want to cut it out and use it as a backdrop. That's new. You don't see that every day. And you know what? I may or may not use it. I've been debating about whether to cut that out. I think only one other reviewer ever has, so maybe I'll just be that reviewer. Now, this comes in parts, so I haven't really developed how I want to show you this yet. So let's, I'll tell you what, we'll take the figure first out, because first and foremost, that's what this is. This is a figure. Now, oh yeah, these are taped in. Yeah, they didn't want to make it easy for you. Well, my knife didn't want to make it easy for them either. Help me, I can't breathe, oh my God. Yeah, we'll get you out, don't worry. So they like to wrap things in plastic. Oh goodness, well they taped that in. That's, I think the fact they taped it all in. Oh, but they give you a good reasonable way to get it out. This, by the way, comes in real handy later, and I'll show you what that does. Hands and feet. And they're barely in there. Hands and feet, hands and feet, hands and feet. Okay, all right. So, now, she comes in this full body condom, you know, because she might spread disease. No, I'm just kidding. All right, easy enough to get rid of, and then she's wearing plastic in all of her joints. So if it, should be easy enough to get out. I saw some people tear at it, but it looks like it's maybe not be so easy. They're more like wrapped in there. Yeah, I bet that was uncomfortable. All right. Okay. I hope I'm getting this on camera. It's hard to see. All right. Oi! Well, that's one way to do it, right? Yeah, she's basically about as modular as it gets. Okay. Get that in there. Put her head back. It all snaps in relatively. She's pretty lightweight. Seems like I watched a review where they said something about her having some more thickness to her than usual. And she's a bit weirdly light and flimsy. Strange. Anyway, so let's before I get into articulation and whatnot, I'm gonna maybe think about opening up this other box real quick, because there's just a lot more to her than just her, so to speak. All right, so we're gonna get out the rest of the accessories real quick. Cutting the box. And a lot of junk. Okay, let's parse through this briefly. So you get an advertisement, I guess, more or less. You get a nice weird QR code. It's just more advertising. But it's basically a miniature poster. Not too bad. All right, and then you get this. Now, what is hiding behind this? I wonder. This is the part that makes this particular figure unique in my eyes, because you're certainly not going to see this in the U.S. market, what I'm about to show you. Okay. Now, that cool little gun, you have to build it. Both of them. Did you ever make models when you were a kid? Because I did. You get all these different parts. And all this is just to make two guns. But the worst is yet to come. Because even after you've built the gun, there's still, if I can get this out. There, this is just the instructions. The destruction manual, if I can get the destruction manual out. So, who's up for water decals? Yeah. Now, I would just like to point out, if I may be so bold as to do, some of these are like a dot. Like a tiny little dot. And you've got to somehow affix that tiny little dot onto a 1/12 scale weapon. Yeah. Fun is not exactly the word I would imply for that. So, what else do you get? Well, it looks like you also get a stand. It's very crafty of them. Let's see if I can get that into the focus. So you get a stand, it's clear, it says snail shell. Now, something I want interesting. I studied 2 years of Japanese when I was in high school. And one of the things they kind of sort of talked about, but I've never really been able to corroborate fully, is that the kanji often is drawn as a way to express the word it's trying to convey. Like, you know, like if it's people standing around. So in looking at this, I mean, it's not lost on me that this top part is probably the kanji for snail shell, but then somehow adding this looks like a figure. It's got arms, it's got feet, and that's the head. But somehow likely using a piece of kanji to establish that. Let's see if I can, I don't know if I can get some shininess on there. You can see what I'm talking about, where it looks like a person. The bottom half looks like arms and feet, and the top half could be the head. Very clever logo design work there. You also get spare parts, more like a couple of spare joints, and that little white thing, another one of those, and that comes into play here in just a second. You get the destruction manual, and in the destruction manual, you get instructions on how to build those two guns. And there's your water decal map. Yeah, trust me, I'm not about to put this together on this video unless you want this video to be, 5 hours long. What I'm thinking of doing, and don't hold me to it, and you'll know when you see this video if I did it or not, But I was thinking of attempting a time lapse. Like I'm going to do a separate video where I'm actually going to put this thing together and I'm going to speed it up so you can see me putting it together. I think only one other human being has done that. You seem to also get what amounts to being a postcard with the character. And every time I saw this, I actually felt that it was kind of funny for one major detail here. Really? Lips? First of all, the character clearly does not wear lipstick and doesn't have full lips to be making a smooch like that. So, yeah, nice try. Nice try there, broski. But I do like it. It is kind of a nice, shiny, metallic red. I mean, I'm not going to diss the graphic design, but I am going to diss the fact that that's not going to be her lips, yo. No, it's not. So, with all this stuff, you also get, I'm going to pan down here and zoomy. Whoop. So you also get, she already comes with loose hands, but you get one that drops to the floor and failure. Boy, lordy. So yeah, they're not really fists per se. They are like grippies. And then you get trigger finger. Little tiny. They're very small. Little tiny trigger finger. And then you get feet. Now, she does come with feet already. So what is the difference? The difference is these come with holes on the bottom. So you could put her on the stand. She comes with feet that are solid. So her feet that she comes out of the package with have no hole. So if you want to put her on the stand, you're going to have to replace at least one of the feet. And then she comes with a spare face. Now this, come on, man. Get into focus. What is the problem with you? There we go. Man, in this new year, I endeavor to try to get better at focusing, and I do apologize. Now, the spare face is due to the fact that the need for light. It's a large part of why this doesn't show up the way it should. And I have to like manually come in here and force it to focus. So she has two different expressions, really. Come on, focus, you silly beast. So two different faces. And so one of them is kind of a straight face, and the other one she's kind of sort of sticking her tongue out. But what is significant? Man, I really hope I have enough light to show you this, because this is super cool. It's the first time I've ever seen anything like this. So of course I drop it to the floor. 1 second, yo. All right, I'm back. Just call me Mr. Butterfingers. Okay. So with this, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take off automatic. Forget this. I'm going to focus where I want to focus. And then it won't move. Does that look reasonable? Let's see. That's too much. Somewhere right around in there. Okay. All right. And so, with this creature in the back, you have these little sockets. So you could put this in and move the eye around. However you want to move it. You can make them look to the left, look to the right, make them derpy. Whatever you want to do. And they do kind of have a shine to them, which I think is interesting. See, they're kind of hard to control because you're not really seeing what you're doing. But that will come in handy. All right. Well, I had to change out the battery. Man, this thing just eats up battery like not getting nothing. Okay, now I'm going to try to move some of this stuff out of the way, because I think what's going on is the focus is picking up stuff in the background and trying to focus on it. But here, if I do this, if I say, you know what, there ain't nothing there for you to focus on because it's all just black, maybe you'll just stick with what's more interesting. We'll see how that works out, because I want to show off some articulation here. So, due to her hair, she can't bend back too far. She can bend forward, but not back. And there's some head tilt, but not much. Of course, she can do a 360. She can go well beyond T-pose. There's no butterfly joints. And so she has the drop downs, which, of course, everything's loose. Super loose. I saw this on another video, and I was like, what? So, yeah, they have the drop down joints. So she can do splits. Fairly easily, really. Okay. And the knees are pinless, double jointed. Go to there. Oh, her arms are also double jointed, so she can get full range of motion. Because, of course, especially if you can get it into focus, that would be super cool. Yeah, so she's got just the top joint and the back. Hold on a second. I'm going to do this. Maybe this will help me with focus, because I could sort of see what's going on here, but not really. Man, that really didn't help as much, did it? Anyway, so very loose, easy to move. Her toes are also jointed, so she can do this thing with her toes. And they go all the way back. Pretty much go all the way forward. There's some rocker from side to side. There is thigh swivel, but not calf. No calf swivel. One thing I did note, if you ever do get this figure, which, you know, I don't know, she's pretty sexy. So that's just no denying that. I just love the butt crack thing. That's just hilarious. And, of course, camel toe for days. There's why they opted for that, you know, just like, of course. And, but yeah. And although you can't really tell, those holes that are in the back are receded. So I've got an idea where I've got some old telephone wire I'm going to put in there. Now, changing out her face. So there's a seam here in the hair. Comes out. And she has the same face. So you could take that out and then use that nifty tool right here and change her face. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to try it. Have an idea. This time I kind of want to see what I'm doing this time. I kind of want to give her this kind of mean look. If I can, of course. There goes the lighting rig. Muchas gracias, lighting rig. Thank you so much. Kind of like she's staring through her eyebrows at you. I kill you with boba tea, yes. Anyway, so now we will put that back on her weird face thing. And everything's all kind of slotted in. Right. And then the hair comes back into play. All right. And you plop that back on. And now she will stare at you from under her line. Okay, so that is, for the most part, Milk Tea Girl. But there's a little bit more to her than meets the eye. I will show you. All right, what's going on here? Why is it black? Why is it dark? Oh my gosh. Aziz, light! Oh, what? So apparently she reacts very strongly to black light. I hope that's coming through. So she has all these little pieces and parts on her, these, especially those little things on her back or whatever, they glow. And her arms glow because they're a different plastic than the rest of the body. And I've noticed that about a number of other figures. Even her eyes. Come on, autofocus. You can do it. Or no, maybe it can't. Here we go. Try it again. Boy, it really is having a tough time. Today is not my day for focus, y'all. So very, very weird. That's weird. And supposedly the decals are also, well, maybe not so much. Huh. Well, they were wrong. They said the decals would also be, but nope, it's just her. Weirdo. Anyway, thought that was an interesting thing, that she was blacklight sensitive. Anyway, let's move on. My God, we're talking like an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of work. So much stupid glue and cutting. My God, you have to be a freaking expert to make these things work, to put them together. You really do. And it's really no joke. Oh, I'm so exhausted. And I ruined like one piece because I'd cut it. It was hard. It was impossible to tell that, you know, I'm kind of, I mean, I didn't even put all the decals on. I suddenly realized why the other reviewers were like, you know what, I'm not putting many of these decals on. Because they're ridiculous. Like, see, this thing here, this back piece, I was not able to, I had to glue on because they were supposed to be pegs, and I clipped them because I thought they were flash. I thought they were just, oh, there, look at that, dropped it, probably broke it. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that just be fantastic? Nope, still in one piece. Lucky me, huh? Well, you know what? My batteries are pretty much dead, so I'm going to have to put a pin in it for now. And when I come back, I'll have nice fresh batteries, and I'll be able to do some photography, and we'll wrap this up. And oh my God, y'all. You need to be a serious toy collector with serious modeling skills if you want to buy this toy and make it look right. Because you also have to paint, and I don't even think I'm going to do that. All right, so now it's time for some final thoughts. It's a little shorter and smaller than I thought it would be, and feels fragile but isn't, so that's always good news. I'm not really a big major anime character collector, but my God, designing or trying to put together those guns was just horrendous. I thought it was going to be a kind of a neat little challenge or something fun, but it turned out to be pure freaking torture. No joke. Just, oh my God. And even now, just whenever you're trying to put them in her hands, you have to take the hands off to try to get them to the grips, because if you're trying to fight with the arms and get everything into position, some piece of the gun will fall off and go flying around. I've had to glue it back together like a dozen times. Like when a piece I just decided not to glue, it ended up being a very poor decision because you have to go back and glue it. I mean, even though the instructions pretty much don't require gluing, I'm going to say if you get this, you best bet get some glue, because you will be frustrated when pieces go flying around and you're trying to work it and you're trying to manipulate it and then another piece falls off. You're going to want to rage quit something fierce, and oh my goodness. So I am currently doing the time lapse, about, I'd say 75% of me working on it. Somehow the battery died and it stopped recording and I didn't know. Obviously, I can't go back and recoup that those events, but you'll get a good large chunk of it. And like, I didn't have the microphone connected, so it's whatever microphone was built into the camera was picking up whatever noise, and for the most part, it's silent. But every now and then, you're gonna get, there were curse words just yelled and screamed at the top of my lungs because I was so mad at pieces flying around that, yeah, this would definitely be a rated R film for sure. First thing I want to say before we do the comparisons is, what is her height? How does that stack up? Because she's supposed to be 6 inches, and she's just a hair under 6 inches. But let's see how she compares against other figures. So here we have Boba Tea Girl next to the, I don't know what version of RC this is, but I know it's the cheaper version, probably the Legacy version, and it's just because of weird height differences, kind of in the same genre. Figured it was a good match. The other one, and again, it's been years. I bought this as an anime reference for my art when I was drawing. But, you know, when you compare it, she's obviously shorter, but looking at the joint types, I mean, they're very similar in a lot of respects, but I almost wish they'd borrowed from this version. I mean, you get these cool shoulder butterflies, you get this great midriff articulation, as well as this great internal hip and thigh articulation, and it has the same kind of toe articulation, the same foot. It's got the same double jointed elbows. I mean, they really could have just modeled it after this and would have been perfect, because this, I don't like this glaring shoulder thing going on. I don't know what's up with that, but it's a little glaring. Kind of pulls you out of the fantasy of reality. Not that anime is based in any measure of reality, but still it pulls you out just a little bit. You know, this is actually interesting because I sort of noticed this as I was manipulating and playing around, that she's not too far off in height, build, and size of Marvel Legends. So, I mean, to be fair, you look at Dazzler's head is a little slightly oversized from the rest of her body, much in the way an anime character is. So, she really, in my opinion, fits right in. And here we have Firestar and Dazzler, of course. And it just, I think that mashes up quite well. So if you've got a good, a nice, strong Marvel Legends collection, you know, she would fit right in my opinion. Just my opinion, of course. And here's another interesting comparison. It's not too far off from Fortnite characters as well. I think that with the wackiness of those characters, she blends right in. And with the colorful guns and everything, I mean, if you've got a strong Fortnite collection, again, she will meld right in. Almost, people might even wonder if she is a Fortnite character, right? So that's actually very interesting. I like that. All right, marching on into G.I.Joe Classified. The figures are a little taller than she is, from my approximation. Akiko not so much, but Zarana definitely. And, you know, I'm going to be honest. When I first saw the Boba Milk Tea Girl, I was originally going to have her go up against G.I. Joe back when I had a very, very small collection. I was going to have her with her two guns, one facing G.I. Joe, one facing Cobra, and kind of just battling the two. But now, that's probably not going to happen. I think Milk Tea Girl is going to stand alone, but it's, you know, I mean, maybe if she was some kind of like android that was built to go against them, I mean, it's not too far off, really. It's just the difference in anime versus reality. That's really what you have going on in this comparison. And finally, let's take a look at Valaverse. Yeah, I'm not 100% feeling it, but not only are they much taller than she is, but again, the proportions, it's not that big of a good matchup for me. However, the Swarm, since they don't technically look, you know, human, really, I mean, they could be part of the same world. I mean, that's easy enough done. And to be fair, if she had a peg in the back, you could put that bee thing on her and it would almost fit up quite well. Oh, and just one final thing. I don't know, I was sifting around through Amazon and I found this really, well, it was cheap in my opinion, this plastic Kawasaki 1/12 scale Ninja from 2006, this motorcycle here. About $17.99, but I had some more points, so I used it to knock it down to like $2. So for me, it was a $2 motorcycle, but I think it fits relatively well with this character. I haven't really tried it out with the Joes too much yet, but yeah, I think it fits out really well. Now, I will also say that before we move on to the photos, there's going to be a lot of photos. I really took some time and tried to devise some more interesting shots, and then with the addition of the black light, that really kind of changed some photographic options. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. If you can find this, I honestly don't know if Big Bad Toy Store still has this available. It might be, I mean, I pre-ordered it like almost a year ago, it seems. But yeah, if you can find her, it's an interesting figure. If you collect these sorts of things, it's a definite must. If you have other anime figures, I've seen people with very, very similar styles of articulation and putting together, and they do kit bashing like you wouldn't believe. Like there's even some things that you can do with the character, like the 1 second. I would show the talking about. So like these white armbands or these black bands, they're a separate piece. So you can actually pull the arm off, take the band off, and then put the arm back on, and she's bandless. It makes her a slight bit shorter, but it doesn't particularly affect the figure. I'm just going to show you real quick. All right. I can't tell if this is going to be in focus, so I apologize in advance. So it comes off pretty easily. And, oops, I just popped her foot off. Yay me. Maybe it doesn't come off so easily. I saw somebody in a video do it. They were able to just pluck this thing off. Maybe they had to cut it, and I'm just wrong. But they were able to do it. Never mind. You know what? I may just, oh well. My bad. I'm just not going to mess with it. I mean, I do know the arm ones definitely do. Like that comes right off. That's pretty easy to do. And then you can put the arm right back on, and she's armbandless. Yay. But I swore I saw a guy pluck these right off. And maybe they're just on there really tight, and maybe if you put it in boiling water or whatever, you'll be able to pull that off, because it is indeed a separate piece, or maybe it's glued. I can't tell. But you can do it, and it will fit back. It may or may not have a little bit of a gap, though. Well, that'll about do it for this particular review. I hope it was enjoyable and interesting and fun and exciting. And on to the first video for the year. Yeah, this is how I'm starting off, yo. On to the photos. What is it that you could possibly want, Alexa? Play notification. Alexa, play notification.
One new notification from Amazon Shopping. Based on your past activity, you might be interested in announcements and updates from Author Incorporated bar charts. Would you like to follow this author now?
No!
No problem.
See that, folks? Alexa just interrupting my video. Yeah, you interrupted my video, Alexa.